We are yet again waiting for Artemis 1 to launch into the sky. And right now, so far, we have some good news. Okay, launch window now, if you're waiting for it's 1:04 a.m. This thing is supposed to be heard all around Central Florida, possibly even to downtown Orlando. We're talking 45 miles away. You could hear it. This is the biggest rocket in existence, at least for now, if it is able to actually launch tonight. It has been marred by being over budget and over on the schedule. It is years behind schedule. It's a $4 billion rocket out there. Want to tell you right off the bat, if you're new to this Artemis 1 rocket is supposed to eventually take people back to the moon, maybe one day even farther than that. This, though, is filled with mannequins. This is a big test run, but it is a big start to what could be our future when it comes to getting people back to the moon. Okay, so there have been issues with this rocket, as I was alluding to. One of the main things that has scrubbed it in the past is because of leaks, mainly liquid hydrogen leaks, and those have been a huge issue for this thing. They did have a small leak today, and it got to an uncomfortable level to where they actually sent a crew out this evening to tighten some nuts out there and get this leak under control. And apparently it worked. They brought the crew back in. The only other issue we've heard about tonight is that there is a radar issue downrange. So they keep track of this rocket. Obviously, they follow it very closely with radar. And apparently NASA has issues just like the rest of us, because they have to plug in a new router. You know, it's like when you're at home and your Wi-Fi is down. So Christopher Fish saying to infinity and beyond. I don't know if anybody is actually staying up for this, because again, this is a gigantic rocket. If you wanted a show in the night sky, I don't know if you're going to be awake at 1:04, but this thing's going to be pretty impressive. Hey, Nina, good to see you this evening. She's predicting a scrub again. No, it is not scrubbed yet. But if I were a betting man, I don't know if I would put a dime on this thing actually going up. But call me a skeptic. Many people in the newsroom are hoping. I know there's some money on the line. I'm not going to say who. Somebody bet their dad that this thing's going to go up. The dad had his money on this rocket not taking off tonight. Ash is saying, so cool, never seen this before. Yes, this is Artemis 1. This is a big deal right here. Ash, thanks for joining us. The window opens at 1:04, so I'm coming on a little early here, 12:11 Eastern Standard Time, and the latest update is we are a go. We're a go right now, but there are some issues. They've got to get their Wi-Fi figured out, their internet router. They did have a small leak at one point, but we'll see. Debbie Fox saying this is exciting. I hope all goes well. I do as well. Godspeed, Artemis 1, yes, Andorra. So Artemis 1, again, there are mannequins right at the top of that thing in the nose cone. That's the Orion capsule. That's where they have the mannequins. They're going to be checking all of the data to make sure that humans can survive a trip up and then around the moon, and then it will splash back down in about 25 days off the coast of San Diego. So a lot riding on this. This is a program that I think it's fair to say has been beleaguered. They have spent way more money than expected, and they have taken way longer than expected to get this thing off the ground. Had so many issues. They even left it out on the pad while Hurricane Nicole was here. It did a very little minute bits of damage, but nothing crazy. Eric is saying I'm up. I'm curious as to how many people will actually be up. So we had reporters out in the area where people watch this launch from. There's an area there where people are always checking out the launches. It's packed tonight. So 1 a.m. on a school night, people are ready. So hello, good to see you. Melissa is hopeful. I'm glad there are some hopeful people on this stream, unlike myself. Debbie saying, who isn't staying up? That's what I'm talking about. Duncan, we've got you up. Can you see it from Mobile, Alabama? No, you will not be able to see it from Mobile. Glad to have you with me, though, Alabama, tonight. But, I mean, I'm talking, this rocket is so big that 45 miles away, it might be waking people up. I don't know that it'll shake the house over in downtown Orlando. So, you know, if you're not familiar with the area, this is Cape Canaveral. This is over on the coast. Orlando's in the middle of the state. People will be hearing this. And right behind me is the assignment desk of the newsroom. That's who gets all the calls when crazy noises happen in the middle of the night. And I have a feeling that we're going to be getting a lot of calls this evening. Eric is legit. He says he has a blood clot in his leg. Still going outside to see it, though. Proud of you. You're legit, Eric, and I hope your blood clot gets better. Josh is saying, I bet NASA uses Spectrum equipment. I could see that. We've got some rocket emojis going. Nicholas is setting the alarm. Yeah, so if you're just joining me now, in 50 minutes, pretty much from this moment, this thing is expected to take off. We're still in Texas, but we'll be up if we still live in Melbourne. All right, Michael. So you're a former Melbourne resident. I like it. Kimberly is hopeful. All right. Hey, what's going on, Melissa? Good to see you tonight. Somebody was watching the 11 o'clock news. Let's light this candle. So if you're one of the people just joining us, again, we've got a huge rocket, Cape Canaveral, Florida. It is expected to finally take off, this $4 billion monster rocket on a test flight. Hopefully we'll make it around the moon and back. Some of us who have been covering this thing for years we're in a wait and see attitude, we'll call it, okay? 25 days is going to go on a 1.3 million mile journey. So after this is going to be Artemis 2. That's when they're going to put people up in that nose cone. And then Artemis 3 is when people will actually return to the moon. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful tonight. We've got a good hopeful crew here, all ready to watch from Port Orange. I would imagine you'll be able to see it up in the sky in Port Orange. I sure hope so. Let's see. Still up in Louisiana? I'm guessing Louisiana. It wouldn't be LA, right? What time is launch again? Launch window opens at 1:04 a.m. We're all very hopeful. So it's a 2-hour window. It can go at 1:04 a.m. They have until 3:04 to get everything figured out if they are having any issues. Okay, we got a lot of Bama people who are space fans apparently tonight. Dee Dee is up and she's waiting. Up at work? I'm up at work too, Shane. Good to see you. We shouldn't be working this late. It's not good for you. We got Ocala. Watching from outside of Mineola, you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you'll get the full feeling of that thrust if you were in, say, I don't know, maybe Orlando or some places in Volusia, Brevard County. I think people are going to they're going to really feel and maybe hear this thing a little bit. Watch me online from Arizona. A lot of people interested in this mission. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. We got a lot of people sticking up with us tonight because I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was like, am I going to be showing this launch to no one? And then we covered out at those areas near the coast where people watch this thing. It's going to launch at 1:04. A lot of people tuning in. USA. Let's go, Artemis. I love these passionate folks. He's just excited. There's something breathtaking about it. Okay, like American ingenuity has put this big, beautiful rocket out there. Are we jacked or what? Are we excited, folks? Is the newsroom excited? Yeah. Get it. All right, so I've been here so long. I'm the nighttime anchor. The morning crew is here. My own crew is gone. I'm supposed to go on television at around 12:50 to do things there, but I was, kind of bored and interested to see what you guys thought about all this. Waiting from Port Orange as well. A lot of Port Orange. Well, Merritt Island's going to have a sweet view of this thing. My folks used to have a place in Merritt Island, and man, they could see the launches. It was gorgeous. Okay, Cheryl, I think I have heard, and I've never watched one of these launches from Ocala, but again, this is one of the biggest rockets. This is the biggest rocket that has ever launched, if it is able to launch. And it is going to create a pretty big fireball in the sky. It's got 4 main engines and 2 side boosters. And I think this thing's going to really light up the sky. And I think it's a pretty good night for viewing. So my guess is you might be able to see it. I hope so. You're a pretty good distance away in Ocala. That's going to be stretching the limits, but I think so. Oh, Mike, you're making my night. You're awesome. We don't watch anyone else except you and Lisa. Awesome chemistry and fun. You are a good man, Mike. I hope you have a good evening and sleep like a baby tonight. I appreciate you. Watching from your yard in Melbourne. What a joy that is that you guys get to do that. We got Coco in the house, heading beachside to Melbourne. I think that's the coolest place to watch a launch. If you live in Florida and you get to just go strut out, put out a little chair, have yourself a Corona and watch America do its thing. Does it get any better than that? USA proud, American made. Watching from a balcony in Cape Canaveral. Bahamas joining us. Okay, so Jamie is asking, is the Ethernet issue fixed? I just checked before I came on, and that Ethernet issue was not fixed, but it was being efforted, and NASA was telling our reporter on the scene that it didn't really seem like some sort of deal breaker. They seemed pretty confident that they could fix that in the next 50 minutes or so to be able to, if you're just joining us, that is the radar issue they're having to where they can make sure they can track this rocket wherever it goes. Watching from the Villages, Florida's friendliest hometown. I love the Villages. I know you're not supposed to say that if you're, some people have this like stigma about the Villages because it's a 55 and up community. I find the people are the friendliest, and it's a fun place to hang out. Actually, very enjoyable. Love Channel 6. Oh, Melissa Riley, thank you. Appreciate you. Watching from Ocala. I'm hoping the clouds move out for you too, Mike. We got Titusville. You're going to have a sweet view of that thing. More Titusville. My dad says there's a 60% chance of a no-go. I don't think those numbers are accurate at the moment. It's looking like it's a go. Right now it's a go. Unless something else pops up, which very well could happen. Another leak could spurt out. They are right now filling the tanks with that liquid hydrogen. The leaks are minimal enough to where they say they're good to go at this moment. Main issue of these previous launches has been the liquid hydrogen leaks. I hope you can see it in the Villages, Eric. I'm not sure. Yeah, if it's a clear night, this thing's big. Got Orlando in the house, Coco. Thank you guys for all joining me. I appreciate it. I just wanted to I figured you were in the house. You were wondering, this thing's been scrubbed so many times that you might be wanting just a little update on this thing. Am I missing any updates? Is this thing still a go? The internet thing's still the issue? Okay. Now that I'm streaming live, I'm trying to keep tabs on Twitter of what's going on, but yeah, still that internet issue. Got Titusville in the front yard. Krista, good to see you. Man, I tell you what, I think all of Port Orange is watching this thing tonight. So you all should just get together, have a Port Orange launch party, and enjoy yourself. Detroit, Michigan, I don't think you're going to be able to see it from there. But Ralph, glad you could join us for the stream tonight. Edgewater. Coco's 8 miles from KSC. You're going to have an awesome view. Watching from Lake Nona. Sam is saying it's worth it to be up. Man, can I just say I love y'all's passion? I do. I am a skeptic, and I have watched this thing with anticipation, looking forward to seeing this big rocket light up the sky, and they've disappointed me a few times. And I know that it's incredibly hard what they're doing. I shouldn't be skeptical. I should just be excited that we get to watch it. So I'm hopeful. Y'all are changing my mind on this. You're getting me excited about it. I appreciate that. We got Jacksonville. Keep falling asleep in Altamont. Don't fall asleep, Madeline. Don't do it. No, we're all staying up. I am going to have to get off in a little bit just to, I would love to show you this rocket on the stream, but I have to go be on TV and show it to people there. Unfortunately, we got Puerto Rico. Oh man, I love this. Nancy is up with her 84-year-old mom in Orlando, and you're hopeful. Oh gosh, I hope you and your 84-year-old mom get to watch this tonight. I will be incredibly excited for you. Tons of Cocoa Beach with us tonight. Coco. Okay, let's see. We're getting an update here. This is Mike. Range is a no-go. Radar Ethernet switch went bad. Working to fix. They need 70 minutes. If no fix, no launch. Okay, Mike. I'm going to rely. Okay, when was this? Am I behind? He said they need 70 minutes. Might get delayed. 2-hour window. So it's still a possibility if that is true. This is community citizen reporting by Mike, and I kind of believe him. You've watched a few from Hunters Creek. We got Bray, Brist. We got New Hampshire up in here. Nice. Apopka, Florida. Good heavens. Sam is super excited. All right, let me try to scroll to get to the newer ones. I'm so behind. I'm sorry if you're just doing this. We got Deltona joining us. Tavares. Castleberry. All right, let's see. As a Titusville native, watching SpaceX land rockets was cool, but this is the first launch I'm excited to see since the shuttle days. I've got to say, I don't know if anything ever impressed me as much as watching SpaceX land the double rocket at the same time. When I saw that video, I was truly just befuddled. I was so amazed when I saw that. I'm really excited to see this. So we haven't seen this thing. I mean, this is just a big, giant, powerful rocket, the likes of which we haven't seen. And that's why so many people are excited. If you're getting on here and you're like, oh, well, it's another rocket. They launch these all the time in Central Florida. That's true. They do, but this one is expected to hit different. It's expected to be louder. It's expected to be brighter. And it's had so many issues that it's almost made the anticipation even greater at this time. Port St. John, we've got Oviedo, Indian River. Sean's saying, I feel like it's the New Year's Eve countdown. My goodness. Yeah, I'm with you, Janice. Landing of the SpaceX rockets was sci-fi, totally. If you ever got to witness that, if you got to, I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen the video. It was incredible. All right, give me an update, Wayne. 10-minute hold for 30 minutes per the NASA channel. Okay. All right. So this thing might keep us up a little later than we were hoping. What I really don't want to happen is for them to wait until 3:03 a.m., the end of the launch window, and say, all right, guys, I know you all stayed up late and you're going to be a disaster at work tomorrow. We're going to just cancel this thing. Melissa's hoping she can see it because she wants to take video of it. How far are you away, Melissa? Did you tell me yet? I'm sorry, I've got a lot of people coming at me fast. I've watched the development of this program since the days they announced this beast. I'm happy I can say that we can be a part of the next generation of moon landings and further. So yeah, this isn't just, yeah, exactly. Tim's got it. Going to get us to the moon. Maybe this thing or something like it's going to get us to Mars too. Reminds me of the Mercury rocket of Right Stuff fame. Got Canaveral Grows. George saying, hello, Earthlings. Hey, Georgie. Good to see you tonight. I hope I can call you Georgie, even though we don't need to. My girl here needs some more coffee. Somebody get Yay. Is that how I say your name? More coffee? Lisa's here for it. She's a gamer. She's a ride or die. I'm in Orlando, but I don't think I'll be able to. Sandra, I think you will definitely see it in Orlando. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but there are possibilities that if you're maybe to the east of downtown Orlando, you could possibly hear this thing. Melissa can't stay up that late. All right. Well, we'll show you some highlights. We'll show you some highlights in the morning. Don't worry. Rizzo's in. He's a night person. TJ, I've been drinking. Can you push the launch button already? Man, if I had that thing, that thing would already be on its way up there. Did they check the spark plugs in the battery this time, Benji? That's a great question. They're actually, if you're just joining us, having issues with their internet router. That could be the thing that screws this whole thing up, is the internet router is what we're waiting on. And the hydrogen leak, they did have an issue with earlier, but they have that all sewn up. So what's at stake here? If you're just joining us, this rocket sitting here is worth more than $4 billion. It is years behind schedule. It is way over budget, and we're all still super excited. We just want it to happen. We just want it to get up in the air safely. And man, it would be a huge deal because it gets us that much closer to possibly getting humans back on the moon and maybe Mars. Is it still on for 104? Still on for, we're hearing about some possible delays because of this router thing. I'm not sure that it's going to hit right at 104, but it is still a go, at least for the launch window between 104 and 304 right now. Madeline's saying, I have to keep eating to stay awake. They better not cancel this. You guys are cracking me up tonight. I love it. What are we eating? What kind of food do we eat as we wait for the inevitable rocket launch? Kimberly says it never gets old to me. I love it. I wish everybody felt that way, but we have so many rocket launches these days that it has become a little bit of white noise. This one, though, is way different than your regular Falcon 9. Not that that's not impressive, but this should look a little different if you're watching. Watching from Hawaii. It's not so late where you are. Reasonable launch time out there. Love some night launches. I agree with you, Candace. Okay, one of my favorite times in a launch, always night. Night launches are always the best. You can see it so clearly. And sometimes if it hits the clouds just right when it's going up and it just kind of reflects off of it, oh my gosh, it's just the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen. I got to cover the final shuttle landing when that thing came down, and I got to watch it. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in person, too. It's just magical stuff. May the force be with us, Cheryl. Yes, totally agree. Will you hear it in DeLand? Okay, I have heard there is the possibility. So the conditions and everything, it matters as far as hearing it. I have heard that there's the possibility that some folks in DeLand could maybe hear it. It's not a guarantee, but I mean, I'd say it's worth it if you're up to go outside, check it out. And that's running out of beer. We need to hurry this thing up. We're running out of food. We're running out of beer. Our pets' heads are falling off. Anybody Dumb and Dumber reference? I don't know. Feels like Christmas. Kathleen's staying up all night. I really hope this happens. Watching us from San Diego. What's going on? So San Diego, CJ, you're going to get to see the capsule splash down over there in 25 days. Hopefully this whole thing goes down. No coffee, just more wine. Krista's relying on the wine to help her to have an enjoyable time this evening. New Smyrna Beach is falling asleep on me. Don't do it. Stay awake. See. So Sean is saying he heard the EDC and he's over in Wekiva Springs. He should hear this. That is the Electric Daisy Carnival, and it is the craziest concert. And I drive by. It's right on my way home from work, and I drive home from work at midnight. And it's like it looks insane. I'm way too old to be going to anything like that. Janice is saying it's always the router. Why are they not using Elon's internet? They're not using the Starlink tonight. No, they are having some issues. Yeah, a lot of people blaming Spectrum. I think that's if so, who knows? Oh man, we got the popcorn out. That is so. I think they're answering my question as to what we eat when we're waiting for launch. Little Caesar's pizza. Marcy's going leftover pizza. Star Crunch. Anybody got the Dippin' Dots out? I think you should eat some Dippin' Dots when you're waiting for a midnight launch. That'd be fantastic. Watching from Polk, Louisiana. Nice. Okay, folks are still joining us asking when this is scheduled to blast off. Scheduled for 1:04 a.m. Hey, Ambrone, is it still saying 1:04?
They're supposed to come back with a new launch time shortly. That's what Ben Lacey said. They fixed the Ethernet cable.
Okay, we've got some breaking news from our morning EP, John Ambrone. They fixed the Ethernet cable, but they're coming back with a new launch time? Is what you're telling me? So they might be pushing it back from 1:04. Okay. All right. So Ethernet's fixed. They're evaluating this thing right now to see if they can, what the deal is. Chuck is saying his grandchildren's names are on a thumb drive on board. Oh, that is so cool. I love how they do stuff like that. Could be seeing some light in the St. Cloud area. I think, I think you'll see it in the St. Cloud area. I don't think you'll have any problem. The whole question is if you would hear. I don't think you'd hear it, but you're gonna be seeing that thing for sure. Pot of coffee. I'm gonna need a pot of coffee to get through my 10-hour shift tomorrow. Please launch. Yeah, I agree with that. I've got long shift tomorrow. Talking to some kids in the morning at Teach-In. This all just, which is, by the way, if you're a teacher and you're watching this, whenever I come and join your classes to talk to your students about being a news anchor, my word, I just want to give you a round of applause, a hug. You all deserve raises. It's the most exhausting day of my year. Very enjoyable when I do Teach-In, but it has to come on a night when I'm going to be here until 2 o'clock in the morning, which is fantastic. Well, we're losing some. Melissa's out of energy. Hate to say it. Rizzo's got ice cream. Janice got my Dumb and Dumber reference. Thank you. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' Heads are falling off. Watching from PBI Airport at work. Good to have you, Justin. Thanks for what you do. Cassie's saying, what's the latest on the launch? I think I'm getting behind. We have so many comments. Somebody's saying, how's that sound go again? I think they're talking about my, that's the, if you've ever been to the EDC, that's what that sounds like. Watching from Honolulu. We've got a few people from Hawaii. Dip and chips. Canaveral. Man, let me try to catch up on these. We're all going to finish drunk from what I read. Yeah, I think it's going to be a big drink at night. Palm Bay is going to feel the windows rattling. I think you're very correct on that, Karen. Richard can see it from his backyard. I'm jealous. Okay. Jesus is saying all depends on which way the wind is pushing. As of right now, the clouds are moving north, so not many people in Central Florida might hear it. So that is the key. That is the key. He's right about the wind. The wind is really going to have an impact on that. This is true. We got people sitting on their roof right now in Union Park, Orlando. That's a perfect view of it. Well, hey, I appreciate you all joining me for this random stream. I just wanted to give you an update. If you're just tuning in, this thing is expected to still go up. We'll see. I have my doubts. I do. This thing has been scrubbed quite a few times in the past. It's had quite a few issues. Way over budget, way past schedule. But we believe, everybody on this stream seems to be a believer, except for the ones who say they're out of beer and they need to go to sleep. They've given up hope. So thank you to everybody who's joining me. Launch window opens at 1:04, but it sounds like they're rescheduling it. So if you're staying up and you're worried about maybe being a zombie for work tomorrow, it looks like this thing might be going a little later than expected, but they have to call it by 3:04. That's the end of the launch window. My name's Matt Austin. I appreciate you joining me for this stream, and I hope you have a good night. Check it out. Hope you have a good view, and maybe you feel this tonight in your bones. And when it goes up, just say, America!